What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today breaking down the New York Rangers 3-2 loss over the Florida Panthers in overtime. Another overtime for this series. It's been overtime after overtime after overtime, and this time the Florida Panthers strike and they win this one in overtime from a goal from Sam Reinhart. Absolute snipe. Can't do anything about that when you leave Sam Reinhart in the slot. So we're going to get into everything, breaking down everything, talk about the players, the goaltending, and the decisions that I felt were kind of interesting. But getting off to start this intro, I got to say, with Igor Shesterkin, I really feel bad for this guy. You talk about a guy that has been bailing your team out constantly in this series. You're lucky for it to be tied, man. I look at this series and I look at it all. It's really lucky for the New York Rangers to head back to their building with a tied series at 2-2 apiece. Because this game, honestly, with how the games have went, you could really make a legitimate argument. The Rangers could be down 3-1 in this series. I think Florida has definitely been the better team, and I hate saying that, but it's been true. Game 3 and 4 were pretty much almost identical, except for obviously the game result where the Rangers won Game 3 from a Wenberg tip-in, this time Sam Reinhart getting the goal. But the Florida Panthers, I tell you, you talk about a team that just keeps on going and going and going. They were just unbelievable. We know they're a resilient group under Paul Maurice, but when they go down a goal or they go up a goal, it's hard for the Rangers to come back because the Rangers' offense just has zero answer for getting pucks in the zone and keeping offensive zone pressure. I really think some of the guys that honestly were creating the most pressure was Barclay Goodrow's line with Rempe and Wheeler. Mika Zibanejad's line with Kreider and Roslovic wasn't doing much. Chip in and then out. Chip in and then out. Maybe you get lucky on a shot on goal, but I don't really think that happened. Lafreniere's line is still buzzing. I still like their line together. And I actually thought the third line with Wenberg, Cooley, and Kakko was pretty good. I thought, and Kakko got the boost in this game to go to the first line because Roslovic was playing bad, and I'm glad that Peter Laviolette saw that because I thought Kakko actually had some really solid shifts, getting the puck in deep, and as a winger, getting the puck out. And that is one of the key attributes of Kakko's game is his defensive play. Obviously, you would like to see some goals and some points, but maybe that's coming in this series. Maybe, just maybe. But I did like Kakko's game. I loved Alexi Lafreniere's game, and that's nothing new. Alexi Lafreniere has taken over this series as a New York Ranger. He looks way more confident and a way different player than we saw in years past in the playoffs. Because the guy just has that motor. When this guy has the puck, he's trying to do something special. I mean, he dangled through, I think it was Gustav Forsling or Sam Reinhart. It may have been Sam Reinhart, and then Gustav Forsling was there. And he rings it off the pipe from Sergei Bobrovsky. It's a dangerous play from Laf, but he has that confidence. Like, I'm going to do this toe drag move, and it's going to work every single time. So props to Alexi Lafreniere just stepping up in this series. Rangers did hit a few posts, but they really couldn't convert on their chances. Powerplay did get a goal from Vinny Trocheck. That was a snipe. Love to see that. And a bit of a different shot. It wasn't the Mika's advantage at one time, even though they did do that at the start. I did like the setup with Trocheck in the slot, wide open, Panarin point. Nice to see, but Panarin's got to put some goals in too, man. I don't like how he's been playing. I think he's been sluggish. I don't know if he's battling some sort of injury because we don't know as fans or even as reporters. We just think that they're just playing poor, and then their first assumption is that they're playing through an injury. And we all know hockey players battle through injuries and play through injuries in the playoffs. Of course, we all know that's with Ryan Lindgren, too. He's a guy that just plays through every single injury. You see cuts on Lindgren's face. But I really do think there's something going on with Artemi Panarin because I feel like he's even a step behind in the play with Lafreniere and Trocheck, and he's gliding to the puck. He's not getting on the forecheck where I don't necessarily expect. More is Panarin. He uses his stick a lot to get the puck from people and try to use any way possible of his body sometimes. But I think it's mainly just stick work from Panarin to take the puck from their defenseman. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough loss for the New York Rangers heading back 2-2. I think that's really the only positive that I really find in this series. But I think that the New York Rangers have a lot to learn from this game. I thought their defensive structure was very bad. The amount of odd man rushes I saw, I felt like it was every period and every other shift that Florida would take a chance, and the Rangers would be in the mix of a line change, and it would be in the back of their net uh, after they got into the zone. Obviously, most of their rushes they did stop thanks to Igor Shesterkin. We'll get into the goals that they scored in just a moment, but too many chances, too many shot attempts. Where I know shot attempts aren't on goal, but just I mean they are just too many. I don't like how it's so easy for them to go into our zone and just pepper shots after shots. And Florida Panthers, they do work it from behind a lot because obviously they can find a way to get a bounce off a skate or something. And that's really the way that they've been beating Igor Shesterkin is garbage goals and shots in front, right? You're not getting goals, at least in this series thus far, from shots very far out. Because when Shesterkin sees the puck, he's going to stop it pretty much every time unless there's a deflection or some sort of weird bounce. And that's how Igor has played. He has been locked in. The guy has been locked in, and it's hard to beat him. We saw Kyle Okposo return to this series, had a backhander, and Shesterkin with the right pad 2 times makes another brilliant save. But getting into the goals, breaking down the goals, Rangers did strike first, which I thought was huge. That first period was outstanding. Everything I loved from that first period, that first jump, because you would expect Florida to come back, and after losing a game where they probably should have won in Game 3, a big push from Florida. No, it was the opposite. The Rangers pushing forward. They got a goal on the power play from Vinny Trocheck. Panarin got an assist, and I believe Fox as well. But hey, if that's what it's going to take, just quick touch pass, Trocheck, boom, so be it. I don't know if the Mika one-timer has been there. Zibanejad hasn't been really able to hit the net. He's been struggling on the power play, and that look I don't think is there. I think Bobrovsky expects that to be the Rangers' first look, and Bobrovsky's a step ahead every single time that they do make that look. But yeah, I mean, a bar-down snipe from Vinny Trocheck is a thing of beauty. Something that we love to see. And then the goals from Florida. Sam Bennett and Wayyyy. But these goals, man, it pissed me off because I look at these goals, and this is how they win games. This is how Florida wins games. Garbage goals, but they all count the same. And props to Florida. They're finding a way to beat probably the hottest goalie in the remaining playoffs. They're not the prettiest goals. I mean, the Wayyyy goal, sweet deflection off a puck that bounces off of the back of Ryan Lindgren, and he just swoops it with his stick. Shesterkin has no chance. He's sliding around because he doesn't know where this puck's going to go. And the Sam Bennett goal to start it off, it's a weird shot that fools Shesterkin. He can't cover it. He goes to the side of the net, and just a bank job right off Shesterkin's skate. Miller can't get to it. I think it actually hit off Miller's stick and then in, but regardless, tough bounce for the New York Rangers for them to tie this game up. And Florida goes up 2-1 with the goal from Wayyyy. But who other to score a goal than Alexis Lafreniere to tie the game up at 2 apiece? The guy's been clutch, man. Three goals in the last 2 games for Alexis Lafreniere. A sweet pass, Madam Fox. It looked like a shot from the replay. I thought it was, but I mean, it goes right to the stick of Lafreniere. He taps with his stick right off the back of Bobrovsky, and there's the garbage goal for the New York Rangers. So both teams get garbage goals, and I feel like that's just gonna how the way the Rangers have to start doing with Bobrovsky. Work from behind the net and actually stay in the offensive zone, because I feel like they haven't been able to do that. Because Florida hasn't given them that opportunity, and props to Florida for doing that. But Florida's a good team. Florida plays well, they defend well, and they score goals, and they get top production from their top guys. Carter Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart have been the guys that have been really starting to pour it on for the New York Rangers, and help Shesterkin out, please. Help him out. I mean, he had to make 37 saves in this game. He had to make 33 or 34 the previous game. Let's help the guy out, please. I mean, the guy has been outstanding. He's got a 923 save percentage in this series, just above 2.2 goals against average. He's giving it everything he's had. And it frustrates me as a fan for a goalie to witness this, because we all saw what happened with Henrik Lundqvist. Same situation. But I just look at this squad, and I think they have all the pieces together. It's just their top production has not been there. And getting into that, Mika Zibanejad, Chris Kreider, and Artemi Panarin, if those three guys don't produce at the Garden in game 5 and game 6, and if necessary, game 7, if it goes to that route, it's going to be a short series. The series is the best of 3 now, but don't be surprised if Florida finds a way, because their top production has not been good. It's frustrating. It really is. And I look at this team. If their top production can't produce, it is going to be very difficult to win this game. And I love this team. I really do. But if their top production's not going to get it done, they're not going to win the hockey game. And another thing, for me to go on a little bit of a rant, Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider have 0 points. 0! How many does Sergei Bobrovsky have? He has 1. Sergei Bobrovsky has 1 point, and he's a goaltender. This man is a goaltender. He doesn't go up the ice and shoot pucks. He tends the goal. He tends the goal. You better wake up, 20 and 93. You gotta wake up. It is frustrating for me to see this happen. I am disappointed in both of those players because they played so well in Carolina and the Washington series. It is, I don't know the word for it, except for frustrating and sickening, for Chris Kreider, a man who saved the season in Game 6 to score a natural hat trick, to say, all right, I'm going to take the series off in Florida in a team that's way better than Carolina. The power play isn't clicking. And it feels like Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad, if there's not a power play, they're non-existent. But when there is, they at least do something. And Mika Zibanejad has an opportunity to give the Rangers their second power play goal, and he hits the pipe. It goes off Sergei Bobrovsky's back of his shoulder, and he makes a save, and it hits the pipe, and it bounces out. And Chris Kreider's on the floor because he fell from a power move that he tried to put in. That play there may have cost him that game. It may have costed him that game, and it's frustrating to see that goes in. I mean, getting back to the defense, Those odd man rushes have to be minimized quickly. We'll get into overtime in just a few seconds, but yeah, I mean, Kreider hasn't scored in 5 games. It's just disappointing to see all of that, but I mean, I look at this. Sergei Bobrovsky has a point. Your depth scoring can only do so much. Barclay Goodrow, Alexi Lafreniere, Trocheck, the guys that are putting up production, those are your guys. There's your stars, and there's your guys. I look at it. And I think Trocheck and Lafreniere are really starting to become in that star category. But I pray that at the Garden, we get goals from everybody. And we pour it on at the Garden, and we change the narrative. Because if they keep playing like this, and playing passive and letting Florida dominate in the zone, and hope that you get a puck bounce, and you get a breakaway, or you get a power play or something, it just doesn't happen. You got lucky in Game 3, I'll admit it. Game 3, we stole from them, like we said. Game 4, Florida took it to you, and it feels like they took it to another level. And they wanted it more after that first period where they stunk in the first period. It's just like, fix it. Fix something. I hope Kakko gets top 6 minutes in Game 5. I hope Jack Roslovic doesn't play much, because he was bad. Jack Roslovic, I've never seen a guy that has no sense of, I don't know if it's urgency, but like, the puck's on his stick and it's right off. Calm down with the puck, use your speed, and go around the guy. Let's get into overtime. I mean, before overtime, the only thing I would like to see is Alexi Lafreniere to get top power play minutes. Let's maybe just stack the top unit. Stack the top unit. You got Foxy, you got Lafreniere, you got Panarin, Trocheck, Kreider. Take Mika off for just a bit. Because I know they're never going to do it. You know they're never going to do it because they hope that their star players are just going to pounce. But I need Lafreniere on that top unit, man. I feel like it's swirled around their heads like power play is not working, but Alexi Lafreniere has been buzzing. Put 2 and 2 together, maybe we actually have a successful power play. Because I feel like the Florida Panthers don't really have an answer for Alexi Lafreniere. The guy's been dangling around their team and putting up good shifts. He had another good game, had another goal. He had a post that almost was a snipe, just missed. Throw him on the top unit. Let's do it. But getting into overtime, a quick overtime, I believe it took just a minute 12, if I can remember from the time. It didn't take very long. And Mika Zibanejad, wow, shocker, Mika Zibanejad throws the puck into a mix of 3 Florida Panthers and a returning Blake Wheeler to the lineup. And what happens? Of course, Blake Wheeler's not going to win a 1-on-3 battle. It gets to, I believe, Tkachuk, and then he passes to Barkov, and the only thing Blake Wheeler can do is take the penalty. I'm a little shocked it wasn't a penalty shot, just because he was on a straight line and he gets hooked. I think Ranger fans would have much rather a penalty shot because of how good Igor Shesterkin is on breakaways and penalty shots, but they get the power play. Zibanejad sells this game. You can't do that. Get the puck in deep, have Cools go around the net. Bad play. I don't know what he was seeing there. Bad play, and I know people are going to say, why do they put Blake Wheeler out? And they said they were just rotating the bench. I'm a little shocked with it, but I don't think anything changes if you put any other player in that same exact situation. So Wheeler takes a hooking call from hooking Sasha Barkov. And what do you know? tic-tac-toe, quick passing, Sam Reinhart with the snipe. It's the only way that people are beating Igor Shesterkin. I feel like. It's either jamming it in and it's a garbage goal, or it's a perfect shot. Because anything that this goalie has seen, he's stopped it and he's denied it on any high danger chance. I want to say high danger chances were 7-0, unless that was game 3 in the second period. That's unacceptable. No reason that they should have 7 high danger chances. But yeah, overtime loss for the New York Rangers. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow for sure. But you're back at the Garden. Seems like home ice advantage doesn't mean much, but let's make it mean something. Let's keep the crowd in it. We all know that we got the best goalie in the league. Now the Stars just need to show up in a big way. A Mika Zibanejad goal, an Artemi Panarin goal against his Betty, or Chris Kreider goal would do something for the Garden. It really would. And it would give Ranger fans confidence that this team actually has it. And that the Stars are going to show up. Because that's all the analysts have been saying. If their Stars show up, they can really make this a different series. It's a 2-2 series. It's a best of 3. Only one team can win 2 out of the 3. This has been the Inside the Blue podcast. Breaking down the New York Rangers loss. Let's win on Game 5. Let's take it to them in Game 5. Also, Blake Wheeler returned to the lineup. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought he played pretty well. Thought Matt Rempe played well. Too many penalties, of course, and when you get dominated in your own end, you're going to take a lot of penalties. But that's going to wrap this podcast up. Really tough loss for the New York Rangers, but don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you never miss these podcasts, and hit the like button. Of course, much appreciated. On the road to 200 subs. Let's do this, baby. Join the program. But that's going to do it for this podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.